Rain fell
Careful,
hard on the
little
metal
one.
streets of New York,
This isn't for
the city that
playing.
never slept. Neon lights reflected in the puddles, painting the ground in purple and blue. People rushed past with their heads down, trying to escape the cold rain. In the shadows of an alley, Detective Ryan Cole stood still, pretending to smoke while he watched the street. But he wasn't just a man, he was an undercover cop. Working for the Interspecies Crime Unit, his mission was simple: find the alien, smugglers hiding among humans, and arrest them before they disappeared again. He had been tracking a mysterious signal for 3 days, signal that came from an alien communication device. The trail led him here to this dark part of the city, where strange things often happened. Then he saw her. A girl ran into the alley, breathing fast, her clothes soaked. At first she looked human, small, fragile, maybe 18 or 19 years old. But when the streetlight flickered, Ryan saw it. Her skin shimmered faintly purple under the rain, and her eyes glowed like twin stars. An alien. She pressed herself against the wall, scanning the corners like she expected someone to attack. Ryan watched silently, his hand resting on his hidden blaster. "Please, don't find me," she whispered to herself. A few seconds later, 2 men in black coats ran past the mouth of the alley. They didn't notice her. When they were gone, she fell to her knees, shaking. Ryan stepped forward slowly. "You okay?" he asked in a calm voice. She looked up, startled. Her glowing eyes widened. "Don't come near me." "It's all right," Ryan said. "I'm not with them. You're safe now." She hesitated, then whispered, "No one is safe here." Ryan crouched down, pretending to look concerned, but his mind raced. A living alien girl on Earth, unregistered, scared, and hiding. She could be the key to the case he'd been chasing for months. "What's your name?" he asked softly. The girl looked unsure, then said, "Lyra." "Lyra," Ryan repeated. "That's a nice name." "I'm Ryan," she frowned. "You're human. You shouldn't help me." "Why not?" "Because they'll come for you too." Before Ryan could ask more, a small holographic device on her wrist blinked red. She gasped. "No, they tracked me." Ryan grabbed her arm. "Who's tracking you?" "The ones who took my sister," she cried. "Please, you have to help me." "Don't let them find her." Ryan froze. Sister? That was new. He hadn't heard anything about 2 aliens, only one. Suddenly the air filled with the sound of engines. A black hover car landed at the end of the alley. 3 armed agents stepped out, wearing helmets with red visors. "The Galactic Enforcement Bureau," Ryan cursed under his breath. The GEB didn't know he was undercover. If they saw him helping an alien, his cover would be blown. "Lyra," he whispered. "Run." "No," she said, eyes wide with tears. "Please don't arrest my sister. She didn't do anything wrong." "What?" Ryan looked confused. "They think she stole something, a crystal, but she didn't. I just wanted to find her before they catch her. Please help me," the GEB agent shouted. "Step away from the alien." Ryan turned to them, pretending to look surprised. "She's just a kid." "She's a Class 3 xenofugitive," one agent barked. Lyra grabbed Ryan's coat. "Please, if they take me, they'll find her. My sister will die." Her words hit him hard. Ryan looked into her glowing eyes. They were full of fear and something else, truth. The agents raised their blasters. "Final warning." Ryan made a choice. In one motion, he pushed Lyra behind a dumpster and drew his weapon. A bright blue shot flashed through the rain. The GEB fired back. Sparks flew from the metal walls. "Stay down," Ryan shouted. He fired again, hitting one of the agent's weapons. The man dropped it, sparks flying. The others took cover. "Go!" Ryan yelled at Lyra. "Run now." She hesitated, then nodded. "Thank you." She vanished into the darkness. Ryan ducked behind a crate as lasers burned the air above him. When the shooting stopped, the GEB had pulled back, searching the other end of the alley. Ryan wiped rain and sweat from his face. His heart pounded. He had just saved an alien fugitive. His cover was broken. He looked at the wet ground where Lyra had been and whispered, "What have I done?" Above the city, thunder rolled. Far away, a second signal blinked. Another alien transmission. Maybe it was Lyra's sister. Ryan knew one thing. He couldn't turn back now. The rain had stopped, but the city still glowed like a broken circuit. Detective Ryan Cole walked fast through the empty back streets, his coat dripping water. The fight in the alley still replayed in his mind. The look in Lyra's purple eyes, her fear, her words echoing like a ghost. Please, don't arrest my sister. Ryan knew he had crossed the line. He was supposed to capture aliens, not protect them. But something about that girl had felt real. She wasn't dangerous. She was desperate. He reached his small apartment on the east side of the city. Inside, he locked the door, turned off the lights, and pulled out his wristcom. He needed to check the GEB's tracker network before they found him. A holographic screen blinked to life. A red warning appeared. Undercover status compromised. Ryan cursed under his breath. The Bureau knew. They had flagged him as a possible traitor. Then the comm started to flicker again. A different signal, faint, strange, rhythmic, came through. Ryan frowned. It wasn't from the GEB network. It was something else. He adjusted the frequency until a soft female voice whispered through the static. Lyra. Can you hear me? It's me, Tessa. I found the crystal. Ryan froze. Tessa, the sister? The signal was weak but clear enough. He recorded the coordinates that appeared for a second on the screen. Somewhere outside the city, near the old spaceport ruins. Ryan leaned back, thinking fast. If Tessa really had the crystal, maybe the GEB's accusations weren't wrong. But why would Lyra be running from them if her sister was the thief? Unless there was something bigger. He packed his gear, a scanner, a small plasma pistol, and a cloaking badge. Then he stepped out into the fog-filled streets once more. The spaceport was silent. Once it had been full of ships and noise, now it was nothing but broken steel and dust. Ryan moved carefully between the wrecked hangars. A sudden sound and soft footsteps. He raised his weapon. Who's there? A shadow appeared from behind a wall. It was Lyra. Her clothes were torn, her face pale. You followed me, Ryan said quietly. I didn't know where else to go, she replied. They're everywhere. The GEB, they're scanning every district. Ryan looked at her. Your sister? I heard her message. She's alive, Lyra's eyes widened. You heard Tessa? Where? Near the old spaceport. That's where she's hiding. Lyra grabbed his hand. You have to take me there. He hesitated. If she really stole that crystal, this could be a trap. She didn't steal it, Lyra said firmly. She saved it. Ryan frowned. Saved it from what? Before she could answer, a strange humming filled the air. They both turned. At the far end of the hangar, a faint purple light glowed from beneath the rubble. Lyra gasped. That's it. The crystal. They ran toward it. The light pulsed faster as they approached. It wasn't just glowing, it was alive. The object was small, like a heart of glass, beating with soft energy. Ryan scanned it. His device went crazy, flashing error after error. This isn't just an alien artifact, he muttered. It's a power source. Lyra knelt beside it. It's from our homeworld, Valara 9. My sister and I were sent to protect it. But someone betrayed us. The Bureau thinks we stole it. Who betrayed you? Ryan asked. Lyra looked down. A man called Agent Varks. He was supposed to help us, but he sold our location to the GEB. Ryan's stomach twisted. Varks was one of his contacts, a Bureau handler. If that was true, everything he knew was a lie. Before he could speak, a cold, metallic voice echoed from behind them. Hands where I can see them. Ryan turned slowly. 3 armored GEB soldiers stood there, blasters aimed, and in front of them, Agent Varks himself. Well, well, Varks said with a smirk. Detective Cole, helping fugitives again. You really should have stayed loyal. Ryan's grip tightened on his weapon. You set me up. Of course, Varks said. You were useful, until you started thinking for yourself. He nodded at Lyra. And you, little alien, your sister's signal led us right here. Lyra's face went pale. No, Tessa. Varks pointed his blaster. The crystal belongs to us now. Before anyone could move, the crystal suddenly flared bright, a burst of purple light that shook the whole hangar. The soldiers staggered, shielding their eyes. The ground cracked open beneath their feet. Ryan grabbed Lyra's hand. Run! They sprinted through the smoke as debris fell around them. The air was filled with the sound of alarms and distant engines. As they escaped into the night, Ryan looked back at the collapsing ruins. The crystal's light still glowed inside, pulsing like a heartbeat. What was that thing? He asked breathlessly. Lyra whispered. It's not a thing. It's a warning. Ryan stared at her. From who? From the stars, she said softly. And if we don't stop it, Earth will be next. The night was silent except for the low hum of the city far behind them. Ryan and Lyra had escaped the collapsing hangar, but the purple glow of the crystal still burned in Ryan's memory. He could feel it. That thing wasn't just energy. It was alive. They hid inside an abandoned metro tunnel. The dim emergency lights flickered as water dripped from the ceiling. Lyra sat against the wall, shivering, her silver hair sticking to her face. Ryan watched her quietly. She looked so small, so fragile, but she had faced armed soldiers without fear. "Are you hurt?" Ryan asked. She shook her head. "No, but Tessa, she's in danger." Ryan sat beside her. "If the GEB got her signal, they'll hunt her next." Lyra clenched her fists. "I can't lose her again." Ryan stared at the ground. He wasn't sure what he was doing anymore. A few days ago, he was hunting aliens. Now he was protecting one. But deep inside, something told him Lyra was telling the truth. He turned on his wrist comm again, trying to trace the faint signal he had recorded. A weak echo appeared, Tessa's voice. "Lyra, the crystal is not what they think."
"Don't let them open it."
"It's not a weapon. It's a message," Ryan frowned. "A message?" Lyra's eyes widened. "That's what we were told to protect. It's from the Council of Valara, our leaders. They sent it before our planet fell." "What happened to your planet?" Ryan asked softly. Lyra looked down. Her voice trembled. "War. A human corporation mined our moons for plasma ore. It poisoned our oceans." The Council sent the crystal to warn other worlds. But before it could reach Earth, our ship was attacked. Only Tessa and I survived. Ryan felt a cold knot in his stomach. "So the Bureau knew all this and covered it up." Lyra nodded. "They said we were criminals, but all we wanted was to deliver the warning." He sighed. "Then we finish what your people started." Lyra looked at him surprised. "You'll help?" Ryan gave a small smile. "Guess I already picked my side when I shot at my own agents." She almost smiled too, but her eyes still held worry. "We must find my sister. The message is incomplete without her." Ryan stood. "Then let's move. The Bureau will search every block by sunrise." They left the tunnels just before dawn. The sky over New York glowed orange as airships floated in formation above the skyline. The city looked peaceful from a distance. No one below knew a war might be coming from the stars. Ryan and Lyra followed the signal north, into the industrial zone near the old docks. A cluster of half-collapsed warehouses stood there, guarded by drones that scanned the streets with red beams. Lyra whispered, "She's inside. I can feel her." Ryan crouched behind a container. "Too many guards. We need a distraction." Lyra reached into her jacket and pulled out a small metallic sphere. "Veleron smoke pod," she said with a grin. "Non-lethal. Confuses sensors. Perfect," Ryan said. "On my mark." She threw the sphere. It cracked open mid-air, releasing a swirl of purple mist that spread fast. The drones beeped wildly, unable to see. Ryan and Lyra ran through the smoke, slipping between crates and shadows. They reached a side door and broke the lock. Inside the warehouse, dim lights buzzed overhead. Old ships and alien tech were scattered across the floor, stolen, hidden, and half disassembled. Then they heard a faint voice. "Lyra?" Lyra gasped. "Tessa." She ran forward. Behind a stack of metal boxes, a young alien woman sat tied to a chair, glowing purple eyes just like Lyra's. Her wrists were bruised, but when she saw her sister, tears filled her eyes. "You came?" Tessa whispered. Lyra untied her quickly. "I thought I lost you." Ryan kept watch near the door. "We have to hurry." Tessa looked at him with curiosity. "You're human." "Yeah, long story," he said. But before they could leave, a slow clap echoed through the warehouse. Agent Varks stepped out from the shadows, flanked by armored soldiers. His smirk returned. "How touching," he said coldly. "The two lost aliens reunited at last. And your pet human too." Ryan aimed his pistol. "You're making a mistake, Varks. The crystal isn't what you think." Varks chuckled. "Oh, I know what it is. The Bureau will sell it to the highest bidder. Do you have any idea what alien technology like that is worth?" Tessa glared. "You fool. That crystal carries a message of extinction. If you open it the wrong way, it will trigger the defense beacon." Varks raised an eyebrow. "Defense beacon?" "The kind that destroys planets," Tessa said quietly. The soldiers exchanged nervous looks. Ryan took a step forward. "Varks, listen to her. If she's right, you'll wipe out Earth." But Varks didn't listen. He nodded to a soldier. "Bring the crystal." From a sealed case, the soldier lifted the glowing heart-shaped object. Its light pulsed faster, reacting to Tessa's voice. Suddenly, the floor shook. The air filled with energy. The crystal floated out of the soldier's hands, spinning rapidly. A beam of purple light shot upward through the ceiling, straight into the sky. Everyone stared in shock. Lyra gasped, "It's sending the signal." Ryan looked up as the clouds above them began to twist. "To where?" Tessa whispered. "To whoever destroyed Valara. They found us." The beam shot into the sky like a sword of light, tearing through the clouds. For a moment, everything was silent. Then the air began to hum, low and deep, like the sound of a giant engine waking after 1,000 years. Ryan, Lyra, and Tessa stared upward as the light faded into the stars. The warehouse trembled. Pieces of metal fell from the ceiling. "What have you done?" shouted Agent Varks, backing away.
Turn it off.
Tessa shook her head, her voice shaking. "It's too late. The message has been sent. They know where Earth is now." Ryan stepped forward. "Who are they?" Lyra's eyes glowed softly. "The harvesters and machines that destroyed our planet. They follow energy signatures like this one. Once they find a world, they drain it dry." Varks's face went pale. "You're lying." "I wish I was," Tessa said. "You've just invited them here." Outside, alarms began to sound across the city. A strange purple glow spread across the horizon, the same color as the crystal. Ryan grabbed Lyra's arm. "We have to move, now." They ran out of the warehouse as Bureau soldiers panicked behind them. Hover cars screamed through the sky. The light above them flickered like a heartbeat, pulsing faster every second. They reached the old metro station again. Ryan sealed the entrance behind them with a broken gate and dropped his backpack. "Talk," he said, breathing hard. "Tell me everything about these harvesters." Tessa closed her eyes. "They're not alive and not anymore. They were built long ago by the first Velerans to explore deep space. But something went wrong. The machines became hungry for energy. They learned to feed on stars and planets." Lyra added quietly. "Our home tried to fight them. We built shields, weapons, even sacrificed cities. But nothing stopped them." Ryan sat down, running a hand through his hair. "And now they're coming here." Tessa nodded. "The message crystal didn't just warn. It also contained our planet's defense code. If Earth can unlock it, maybe it can protect itself." Ryan looked between the two sisters. "You mean there's still a way to stop them?" "Maybe," Tessa said softly. "But we need a reactor strong enough to power the crystal, and only the Bureau has one." Ryan cursed under his breath. The Bureau had turned him into a criminal, and now he had to break into their main base. He stood up. "Then we're stealing their reactor." Lyra blinked. "That's impossible," Ryan smirked. "Impossible's my specialty." That night, the trio made their way through the ruined city outskirts. Above them, the purple glow covered half the sky now. People stared upward in fear as strange streaks of light moved across the atmosphere. Not shooting stars, but something else. "The Harvester's scouts," Tessa said. "They're coming faster than I thought." Ryan kept his weapon ready. "Then we don't have time to waste." They reached the Bureau's central facility, a tall black tower surrounded by electric fences and drones. The logo shone bright on its side, GEB, protecting humanity from the unknown. Ryan grinned bitterly. Protecting humanity by destroying truth. He led the sisters through a maintenance tunnel he had used years ago when he first joined the Bureau. The tunnel was narrow and cold, the air filled with the hum of generators. At the end of the passage, a locked steel door blocked the way. Ryan pulled out a small tool, hacked the panel, and the door slid open with a soft hiss. Inside was a huge chamber, walls lined with glowing blue cores. The heart of the Bureau's power grid. Lyra looked in awe. "That's enough energy to light up 10 planets." "Exactly what we need," Ryan said. Tessa walked toward the main console, placing the crystal in a metal cradle. It floated in the air, spinning slowly, absorbing the energy around it. The lights flickered as the room filled with purple light. Suddenly, an alarm blared. Red lights flashed. Barks's voice echoed through the speakers. "I knew you'd come here, Cole. You really think you can save this planet?" Ryan's jaw tightened. "You already doomed it." Doors opened all around the chamber. Bureau soldiers poured in, weapons ready. Ryan took cover behind a console and fired back. Lasers cut through the air. Lyra grabbed her sister's hand, channeling energy into the crystal. It glowed brighter, sending out a wave that knocked several soldiers to the ground. But Varks himself stepped through the smoke, holding a blaster pointed at Ryan. "Step away, detective. You can't fight all of us." Ryan aimed his weapon back. "Maybe not, but I don't have to." He looked at Tessa. "Now." Tessa screamed as the crystal released a massive surge of light. The entire room exploded in purple fire. The shockwave threw everyone off their feet. When the smoke cleared, the soldiers were unconscious. The reactor was offline, but the crystal had changed. Its glow had become white, calm, almost peaceful. Lyra fell to her knees. "It worked." Ryan blinked. "What worked?" "The message," Tessa whispered. "It's decoding." On the console, alien symbols appeared, thousands of them glowing in sequence. Then a voice spoke from the crystal, ancient and powerful. "To those who hear this, the harvesters cannot be destroyed, but one world, one hope, remains." The voice faded, leaving silence. Ryan looked at the sisters. "One world remains? What does that mean?" Tessa met his eyes. "It means there's still someone out there who can stop them. But to find them," Lyra finished softly, "we have to leave Earth." Ryan stared at them both, then at the sky turning darker outside the window. He exhaled. "Then let's find a ship." The wind howled through the shattered towers of New New York. The sky above was no longer blue, it was purple and black, like a storm made of fire and light. Strange metal shapes moved among the clouds, their glowing eyes scanning the city below. The harvesters had arrived. People screamed in the streets as buildings flickered with static energy. Hovercars crashed, power grids exploded. The once bright city was falling apart, one district at a time. Inside the ruined bureau tower, Ryan, Lyra, and Tessa stood before the half-destroyed console. The crystal hovered above it, glowing faintly white now, calm but weak. "We can't stay here," Ryan said, his voice rough. "They'll burn this city to the ground." Lyra looked up at the sky through a cracked window. "They already have. We have to go, off-world," Tessa nodded. "There's an old launch base near the eastern ridge. If we can reach it, there might still be a ship that works." Ryan grabbed his pack and checked his blaster. "Then that's our ticket out." They moved fast through the smoke-filled corridors. Dead screens flickered around them, showing old bureau warnings. "Stay indoors, trust the system. The bureau will protect you." Ryan muttered, "Yeah, right." Outside, the ground trembled. From the distance, a massive harvester descended, a black machine the size of a skyscraper, its body pulsing with red veins of light. It looked alive, breathing, feeding. Tessa whispered, "That's their harvester core. It will drain the planet's energy within hours." Ryan clenched his fists. "Then we're out of time." They stole a small hover truck from a police depot and sped through the burning streets. Fires reflected in Lyra's glowing eyes as she held the crystal close to her chest. What did the message mean? Ryan asked over the roar of the engine. Tessa replied. The voice said, "One world remains." Our ancestors spoke of a secret colony, a place built in deep space to escape the harvesters. If it still exists, it's called Haven 9. Ryan frowned. "And the crystal knows the coordinates?" Lyra nodded. "Yes, but we need full energy to unlock them. The ship's reactor might do it." As they drove, a drone swooped down behind them, firing plasma shots. The truck shook violently. Ryan shouted, "Hold on." He swerved through a broken highway ramp, then leaned out the window, firing his blaster. The shot hit the drone, sending it spinning into a billboard. It exploded in a burst of blue sparks. Lyra gasped, half laughing, half terrified. "You're crazy." "Part of the job," Ryan shouted back. They crossed the city limits as dawn began to rise. A strange violet dawn under a poisoned sky. The launch base loomed ahead, half buried in sand and rubble. Inside the hangar, silence. Dust covered everything. Old ships, rusted and forgotten, stood like ghosts. Tessa ran to a control panel. "Power's dead." Ryan opened a side panel and connected his wrist comm. "Let me try." Sparks flew, then lights flickered on. One ship in the corner came alive. Its engines hummed weakly, blue lights glowing under the hull. The name painted on the side read, Starliner EOS. "It's old," Ryan said, "but maybe it'll fly." Lyra placed the crystal inside a small energy cradle on the console. Instantly, the ship's systems lit up brighter. The engines roared, shaking dust from the ceiling. Tessa smiled. "The crystal is sinking. It's giving the ship power," Ryan grinned. "Then let's get off this rock." They boarded quickly. Ryan took the pilot seat. Tessa manned the systems and Lyra held the crystal steady. Outside, the earth cracked as the harvester's core touched down near the horizon, a wave of purple fire spreading toward them. "Come on, Eos," Ryan whispered. "Don't die on me now." The engine screamed, then lifted. The ship rose, shaking violently as debris hit the hull. Suddenly, alarms blared. "Something's locking onto us," Lyra shouted. Ryan looked at the radar, a harvester drone closing fast. He pulled the throttle. "Hang on." The ship shot upward, spinning through smoke and flame. The drone followed, firing plasma bolts. One struck the wing, sending sparks across the cockpit. Tessa screamed, "We're losing power!" Lyra pressed her hands against the crystal. It glowed brighter, flooding the cockpit with white light. "I can boost it." Ryan gritted his teeth. "Do it!" Energy pulsed through the ship. The engines roared back to life, blasting a shockwave that knocked the drone away. The Eos broke through the cloud. And then suddenly there was silence. They were above the atmosphere. Space stretched before them, dark, endless, filled with stars. Lyra looked out the window, tears in her eyes. "We made it." But Ryan didn't relax. He looked back at Earth, now glowing purple, cracks of energy spreading across its surface. The harvesters were feeding. He whispered, "There's no going back now." Tessa checked the controls. "The crystal's decoding the coordinates. Haven 9 is far. We'll need faster than light jump." Ryan smiled faintly. "Then let's see if this old ship still remembers how to dream." Lyra touched the console. "Jump drive ready." "Do it," Ryan said. The crystal pulsed once, and the stars outside stretched into white lines. The ship vanished into hyperspace, leaving a dying planet behind. For a long moment, only the hum of the engines filled the silence. Ryan leaned back, exhausted. "You two just made me an enemy of the entire Bureau." Tessa smiled weakly. "You saved more than that, Ryan. You saved what's left of hope." Lyra looked out at the shifting light of hyperspace. "But if Haven 9 is real, we're not safe yet. The harvesters will follow the signal." Ryan nodded slowly. "Then we'll be ready for them." The stars outside the ship blurred, then slowed until they looked normal again. The Starliner Eos dropped out of hyperspace, gliding through a field of glowing dust. Lyra pressed her face against the window, her eyes wide. "It's beautiful." The sky outside shimmered with blue clouds of light, a nebula stretching for millions of miles. In the center floated something huge, a dark metallic ring glowing softly with green lines. It wasn't a planet. It was a station. "Haven 9, Tessa whispered. Ryan stared. "It's real." The ring slowly rotated, powered by ancient engines that still glowed after centuries. Inside it, small lights twinkled. Cities, forests, and rivers sealed under a transparent dome. It looked like an entire world trapped in a loop of metal and glass. Lyra smiled weakly. "Our ancestors really built it." Ryan adjusted the ship's scanners. "I'm getting life signs, thousands of them. But no response to our signal." Tessa frowned. "That's strange. Haven 9 should have defense protocols. Maybe they don't trust outsiders anymore." "Can't blame them," Ryan muttered. "After what humans did to your home." The Eos approached slowly. Suddenly, a beam of light scanned the ship from the station. A voice echoed through the cockpit. Deep, metallic, calm. "Unregistered vessel. Identify yourself." Ryan pressed the comm button. "This is Detective Ryan Cole, formerly of Earth's Bureau. We seek asylum, and we carry something important." There was a pause. Then the voice said, "Proceed to Dock 9. Ryan exhaled. "Guess they're letting us in." As the Eos entered the docking tunnel, mechanical arms guided it into position. The engines powered down. Steam hissed from vents. When the hatch opened, they stepped out into a wide corridor glowing with soft blue light. Strange plants grew from the walls and the air smelled clean. Too clean after all the smoke and fire they had left behind. A group of armored guards waited for them, their suits sleek and silver, marked with symbols Ryan couldn't read. Behind them stood a tall alien woman with pale skin and glowing silver eyes. "I am Commander Solara," she said. "Welcome to Haven 9. You've brought trouble with you." Ryan glanced at Lyra and Tessa. "We didn't have much choice." Solara's eyes moved to the crystal in Lyra's hands. Her expression hardened. "Where did you get that?" Tessa stepped forward. "It's from Valara 9. We're the last survivors." The commander's face softened with shock. That's impossible. Valara was lost ages ago. Lyra nodded sadly. We escaped with the message crystal. The harvesters destroyed everything else. Solara took a step closer, studying them. If that crystal is truly from Valara, then you've brought both hope and danger here. Ryan crossed his arms. The harvesters are coming. That signal reached them. They'll follow. Solara looked grim. Then we don't have much time. They were led through glass corridors overlooking the station's core, a massive spinning cylinder filled with light. Fields of green stretched across its inner surface, held in place by artificial gravity. Children played near glowing water streams. It was peaceful, perfect, a reminder of what the universe used to be before war. Tessa whispered, "It's like home." Solara guided them into a chamber filled with ancient consoles. This is the heart room. If your crystal truly carries Velaran code, it can merge with our archives. Maybe it holds the key to defeating the machines. Lyra placed the crystal in a circular pedestal. Instantly, the room glowed. Symbols appeared on the walls, streams of alien text moving like light. A calm voice spoke through the chamber. Connection recognized. Velaran data core active. Everyone stepped back as holograms filled the room. Images of Valara's oceans, cities, and the moment of its destruction. Machines tearing through the sky, feeding on stars. Then the image changed. A single large figure, half machine, half living energy. Tessa gasped. That's the Harvester Prime, their leader. The hologram zoomed in on its face, showing bright, cold eyes. Ryan frowned. Can it be killed? The voice replied. No weapon can destroy it, only its core code can shut it down. The key was divided into 3 crystals. One remains missing. Solara looked at them sharply. If you have one, and the second was lost with Valara, that means... Lyra finished softly. The third is still out there. Ryan clenched his jaw. Then we need to find it before the harvesters do. Suddenly alarms blared. Red lights flashed across the walls. A soldier ran in. Commander, something's entering orbit. Solara turned to a screen. A massive shadow appeared near the station. Dozens of harvester ships, black and silent, surrounding Haven 9 like vultures. Tessa's voice trembled. They followed the signal. Ryan pulled his blaster. We need to get the crystal safe. Solara nodded. You'll come with me. There's a sanctuary below the core. We'll protect it there. But before they could move, the walls shook violently. Explosions echoed above. The commander shouted, Shields failing. Get to the lower decks. Ryan grabbed Lyra's arm. Move. As they ran through the glowing corridors, debris rained from the ceiling. Children cried. Lights flickered out. Tessa looked back at the window. Through the smoke, a massive harvester ship loomed, its energy claws wrapping around the outer ring. She whispered, They found Haven 9. Ryan looked ahead, his face set with determination. Then we fight for it. The alarms screamed through the corridors of Haven 9 as the sky turned red above the ring world. The harvesters had arrived, a fleet of dark machines shaped like enormous spiders made of metal and fire. Their claws dug into the outer surface of the station, draining power. Inside the control room, Ryan, Lyra, Tessa, and Commander Solara watched the chaos unfold on the holoscreens. Whole sectors of the station went dark one by one. Solara's voice was steady but cold. They're inside the outer ring. Once they reach the core, it's over. Ryan looked at her. How long until the shields fail completely? 10 minutes, she said. Tessa turned to the glowing crystal sitting in its containment cradle. It flickered like a fading heartbeat. If we can connect the crystal to Haven 9's power grid, it can send the shutdown code through their network. But only if we reach the central core. Ryan nodded. Then that's where we're going. Solara's eyes narrowed. That chamber is deep inside the lower deck, so near the fusion reactors. You'll have to go through the breach zone. Ryan grabbed his rifle. We've come this far. We finish it. Lyra placed a hand on the crystal. If we fail, everything dies. Ryan gave her a small smile. Then we don't fail. The descent, the corridors below Haven 9 were dark and full of smoke. Emergency lights flashed red, painting the walls like fire. Metal groaned above them as explosions shook the station. Ryan led the way, firing at any harvester drones that crawled through the vents. The mechanical creatures screeched and sparked before collapsing in heaps of metal. Tessa followed close behind, carrying the crystal. It pulsed brighter every time a harvester died, as if feeding on their energy. Lyra looked back once. They're everywhere. Ryan didn't slow down. Keep moving. They reached a massive steel door marked Core Access. It was sealed with a heavy lock. Solara keyed in a code, but the panel buzzed red. Power's down. It won't open. Ryan raised his blaster. Step back. He fired 3 plasma shots at the hinges. The door fell open with a loud crash. Inside, the core chamber glowed like the inside of a star. Massive energy tubes spiraled around a glowing sphere. The room was half destroyed, sparks raining from the ceiling. This is it, Tessa said, her voice trembling. She ran to the console and placed the crystal in its slot. The entire room came alive. Purple and blue light danced across the walls as data streamed through the air. Lyra smiled faintly. It's working. Ryan glanced at the scanners. We've got company. Hundreds of dots appeared on the radar. Incoming harvester drones closing fast. Solara drew her weapon. Then we hold the line. The battle for Haven 9. The doors burst open. Metal claws and burning eyes poured through. Plasma fire filled the room. Ryan and Solara fought side by side, taking down drone after drone. Sparks flew, smoke burned, and the air filled with the sound of war. Lyra used her alien energy, creating barriers of purple light to block incoming fire. Every time she used it, the crystal glowed brighter. Tessa shouted from the console, "Almost there, it's uploading the shutdown code." Ryan ducked behind a pillar, reloading. How long? 30 seconds. A huge explosion shook the chamber. The Harvester Prime crashed through the ceiling, a monstrous machine with a single burning red eye. Its voice thundered like a god. You cannot stop us. You are fuel. It fired a beam that shattered the floor. Solara was thrown back, her armor sparking. Ryan fired at its core, but the blasts bounced off harmlessly. Lyra screamed, "Tessa, the code!" Tessa was bleeding, struggling to stay standing. She slammed her hand on the panel. Almost done. The Harvester Prime struck her with a wave of energy. She fell hard, the crystal rolling from her hands. "Tessa!" Lyra cried. She ran to her sister's side. Tessa grabbed her hand weakly. "You have to finish it. You're stronger than me." Lyra's tears glowed in the purple light. "No, we do it together!" Ryan dove for the crystal and slid it into the final conduit. The light around them turned blinding white. The Harvester Prime roared. "No!" A massive surge of energy exploded outward. The machines froze mid-motion. Their lights flickered, then died. The wave spread through the entire station, then into space. Every harvester ship went dark, drifting lifelessly. The Prime's core cracked and crumbled to dust. Silence fell. Ryan looked around. The entire chamber was glowing soft white. Lyra knelt beside her sister. Tessa's breathing was faint but steady. Solara stood, wounded but alive. "It's over." Ryan shook his head. "No, it's just beginning." He looked out through a broken viewport. The Harvester's dead ships floated among the stars, like a metal graveyard. Haven 9 was safe. For now. Aftermath later. In the healing chambers, Lyra sat beside her sister's bed. Tessa was weak but awake. The crystal now floated quietly between them. No longer a weapon, but a symbol of hope. Ryan walked in, his jacket burned and torn. "How's she doing?" Lyra smiled softly. "Alive, thanks to you." He nodded. "Thanks to you. You saved your people, and mine." Outside, through the station's windows, a new dawn began, a ring of light circling Haven 9 as its systems slowly repaired. Tessa looked up at Ryan. What will you do now? Ryan stared into space. Earth is gone. But there are other worlds out there. Someone has to make sure this never happens again. Lyra stood beside him. Then you won't go alone? Ryan smiled faintly. Didn't think I would. As the stars glimmered beyond the glass, the crystal pulsed one last time. A soft whisper filling the air. Hope survives. And somewhere in the endless dark, a single star flickered back to life.